Hello students, welcome to online maths classroom. In this video, we will study about arithmetic mean. Exercise 9.2, question number 11 to question number 18. In some of the question, we will use the concept of arithmetic mean. And the remaining questions will be based upon your arithmetic progression. So let us start with it. Let us try to understand what is arithmetic mean. As we all are familiar, mean is average. Okay, mean is average. So here, what is arithmetic mean? Let us try and understand. The arithmetic mean A of any two numbers A and B. Okay, arithmetic mean, which is denoted by a capital A, of any two numbers small a and small b, it is given by the average of these two, that is A plus B by 2. That is, sequence A, capital A and B is in AP. Okay, if three numbers are framing an AP, then the middle one is called the arithmetic mean. Okay, and is denoted by the sum of these two divided by 2, or the average of first and last. Okay, so how it comes is, say, if three numbers A, B are in AP, then this capital A, where is the arithmetic mean between A and B? Okay, then you know that the difference of these two, okay, this A minus capital A minus small a is same as B minus A. Okay, common difference is same. Okay, so you can take this A to this side, so it becomes 2A is equal to A plus B, and that means A is equal to A plus B by 2. So this is how we get, if three numbers are in AP, then the middle one is the arithmetic mean and is given by the average of first and last. For example, if 6A, 16 are in AP, then arithmetic mean between 6 and 16 is your given by this formula. So it will be 6 plus 16 divided by 2, that is 22 by 2, which is equal to 11, where A is your first number 6 and B is your 16. In this exercise, we will solve your question number 10 to 18. Question number 10. Question number 10 of your NCERT. It says that if the sum of first P terms of an AP is equal to the sum of first Q terms, then find the sum of first P plus Q terms. Okay. So what is given here? We know by the formula of this sum, Sn is n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 d. Okay. Now sum of first P terms will be denoted by Sp, and it will be given by, in place of n, replaced by P. P by 2, 2a plus P minus 1 d. Similarly for Sq, we will get it as Q by 2, 2a plus Q minus 1 d. Okay. Now sum of first P terms equal to sum of first Q terms. So equating both of them, what can be cancelled is just this 2. So it becomes P times this complete term is equal to your Q times this complete term, and 2 can be cancelled. Okay. Now let us open it. It becomes 2AP plus your PD into P minus 1 plus 2AQ plus QD into Q minus 1. Now bring it to this side. 2AP minus 2AQ is equal to QD Q minus 1 minus, take it to other side. Okay. So 2A, take 2A common, P minus Q is equal to, take your D common, we will get Q minus 1 times Q, and it will become minus P minus 1 times P. Okay, and D can be taken common from both these terms outside. So by solving it, we can take, by opening the terms, we will get 2AP minus Q equal to this term D Q square minus Q minus P square plus P. Okay, then we can rearrange all of them. So to make the factors, so Q square minus P square plus P minus Q. Okay, then I can take this negative sign common, as I need P minus Q. So here it is Q square minus P square. So I'll take negative sign common, so that I get the value, this is minus Q square, all the signs change, plus P square minus P plus Q. Okay, so it is minus T, then P square minus Q square, and take minus sign common out of these, I'll get minus times P minus Q. This is 2AP minus Q is equal to minus T. Now it can be splitted as A plus P into A minus P, P minus Q into P plus Q, and this is same. From both these terms I can take P minus Q common. Okay, and it can be taken out also. So taking P minus Q common from this side, I'll get it as minus D P minus Q, and inside it becomes P plus Q from here and minus 1 from here. Okay, now Take it to other side, 2a p minus q plus d times this equal to 0. Then p minus q is common and inside it becomes 2a plus d, p plus q minus 1. Okay, 2a plus d and this thing equal to 0. Now product of two terms is 0. Either this is 0 or this is 0. So when this is 0, p is equal to q, which is not possible because p is not equal to q. It is given. Okay, and here this is equal to 0. This condition comes. Now let us find the sum of first p plus q terms. How will it be there? As the formula for Sn is your this n by 2 2a plus n minus 1d. So what will be the sum of p plus q? It will be like sp plus q, and you have to replace this n by p plus q. So we get the sum of p plus q terms here as p plus q by 2, 2a plus p plus q minus 1 into t. Okay, in place of n we will replace it by p plus q. So here also it is p plus q by 2, 2a plus this was n, p plus q minus 1 into t. Okay, and this value we have calculated in your equation number 1 and it is coming out as 0. So it becomes p plus q by 2 into 0. That means it is equal to 0. So sum of first p plus q terms is 0. Question number 11 says sum of first p, q, r terms of an APR, ABC respectively. You have to prove this. A by p, q minus r plus b by q, r minus p plus c by r, p minus q equal to 0. Okay, here we have small a in the equation, so we will use capital A for the first term so that we can just make out a difference that which a and d we are having here. Okay, so d is no problem, but your small a is there, so we will not consider the first term as small a. Instead we will use it as capital A. So Sn is your this formula. See, I have took this capital A and capital T. Okay, now sum of first p terms is equal to a, so sp is equal to a. This is the formula. Change n by p, this becomes equal to e, so a is equal to this. Okay, similarly sum of first q terms is b, sq is b, so sq means you have to replace this n by q by 2 times this, so I'll get b as this, a as this and b as this. Okay, similarly sum of first r terms is your c, so it becomes r by 2, n by 2 it is r by 2, 2a plus r minus 1d equal to c, so c becomes this. Okay, up to here I think there should be no problem. Now we need to prove this condition. So firstly I will find this. Okay, so a is your, from the previous equations, p by 2, 2a plus p minus 1d. So I'll take this p to denominator because I need a by p. So I'll take this p to the denominator. What will it be? It will be 1 by 2. Okay, p here 1 by 2 times this. So a by p is half of, now I'll break the terms. Half of 2a plus half of p minus 1d. Okay, so this becomes a by p is your, this is a plus p minus 1 d by 2. Okay, now I need to multiply it with q minus r. So I'll multiply both sides by q minus r. What will I get? It is a plus your p minus 1 by 2 d multiplied by this. Okay, so this we will work out later. Similarly for b is equal to this, take this q to denominator, so b by q is your half of this. Okay, so b by q is half of, again we will break these terms, 2a plus half of q minus 1d. So this is your a plus q minus 1d by 2, again as we got for a by b. Now it should be multiplied with your r minus p. So by multiplying with r minus p both sides, I get it as b by q r minus p plus this complete multiply with r minus p. This is your number 1, this is your number 2. Now next is I will make c by r similarly. So c is your this r by 2, 2a plus r minus 1d. Again bring this to other side, denominator half of this, split half of 2a plus half of this, again complete. So c by r I get as a plus r minus 1 by 2d. Now I need to multiply both sides with p minus q, so p minus q, and this complete will be multiplied with p minus q. This is my third equation. Now since I needed to prove that this complete term, sum of these three terms comes out to be 0. So let us work it out. I have the values of all of them calculated in number 1, number 2 and number 3. So I'll start placing the values. A by p q minus r is my this one, plus b by q r minus p is your this one, and you can see from here c by r p minus q is your this one. Okay, now start arranging the terms. Okay, as I'll collect all the a's, all the d's, is like this. So A times Q minus R plus this becomes, firstly, it is half of P minus 1 Q minus RD. Okay, you can multiply all of them. Just don't break here. Just multiply the factors itself. Similarly, plus A times your R minus P plus half of Q minus 1D by 2 times R minus P similarly. And for the last one also, E times P minus Q plus half of R minus 1 P minus QT. Okay. Now I'll collect the terms of A altogether. So A will be having from the first, this complete term, I will be having Q minus R plus from here R minus P, from here P minus Q. So A times all of this. Plus in these 1, 2, 3, these 3 remaining terms, I have half of common. Okay, half of and D. Half of D is common. So half of D, from here I'll get P minus 1 into Q minus R. Okay, from here Q minus 1 into R minus P, see here, and from here R minus 1 into P minus Q. Okay, because half of D is common here. Now when you will open it everything, A is common, and this open it everything, you will find that, say, this R is getting cancelled with this Q is getting cancelled with this, and P is getting cancelled with this. Similarly, half of T, I have to open it. I'll multiply everything like PQ minus PR minus Q plus R plus QR minus QP minus R plus P plus RP minus RQ minus P plus Q. Okay, in this way. And here also I can see that the terms will be cancelled. See from here, PQ with minus, okay, plus R with minus R, and you will find everything gets cancelled. So when I'll open it, I'll find that everything gets cancelled. So A times 0 plus half of D times, this is also, everything gets cancelled. So you can see it is 0. So I'll get the sum as 0, which was my required right hand side. Now question number 12 of your NCERT says that the ratio of sum of m and n terms of an AP is m square ratio n square. Okay, we did a question in your previous video which was also based upon your ratio. So here again, the sum of ratios of m and n terms of AP is m square ratio n square. Show that ratio of their mth and nth term is, okay, 2m minus 1 ratio 2n minus 1. So ratio of sum of m and n terms is given, and you have to find the ratio of their mth and nth terms. Okay, so let us start with it. So again, I'll start with your, again, this formula, as we are talking about the sum, Sn is your this. Okay, the sum of n terms is denoted by Sn, which is this, and sum of m terms will be denoted by your Sm, replacing this n by m. Okay, so this is your Sm, this is your Sm. Now its ratio is given as sum of m terms divided by sum of n terms is m square by n square. Okay, so place the formula, and m by 2 this complete, 2a plus m minus 1d upon n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1d, this is m square by n square. Okay, so 2 gets cancelled, we get m by n, this complete as it is, this complete as it is. Now what more we can do? We can cancel this m with this m square and this n with this 1 of n square. Okay, or we can take it to other side, it's one and the same thing. So I get 2a plus m minus 1d upon 2a plus n minus 1d as m by n. Okay, m by n, because 1 of m and n gets cancelled. Now we need to show ratio of mth and nth term is this. Now we know the formula of an is a plus n minus 1d. So nth term will be a plus n minus 1d, an is a plus n minus 1d, and am is your a plus n minus 1d. So let us consider its ratio. Okay, I need to prove that it is turning out to be this. That means I have to prove that a plus m minus 1d upon a plus n minus 1d is your 2m minus 1 upon 2n minus 1. Okay, but this is to be proved, and we will go back to your equation number 1, but we proved till now. We proved this. Okay, now you know in such ratio questions we need to establish the connection of what is required and what we are having. Okay, so this is required and this what we were having. Okay, so that means, see, in place of this a, we are having 2a, we are having here as a. Okay, and in place of this your m minus 1, we need just m minus 1. Okay, so replacing your m with 2m minus 1. See towards my right hand side, but what do I require? In place of m, I need 2m minus 1. In place of n, I need 2n minus 1. Okay, so let us replace it. Let us do whatever is desired here. 2a plus m minus 1. Okay, in place of m I substituted 2m minus 1 for my requirement, and then see whether these things come out to be true or not. Okay, so this is your 2m minus 1, and this minus 1 is already there, and this is again I'm replacing m by 2m minus 1. Similarly, for this denominator, this n by 2n minus 1, so this becomes 2n minus 1 minus 1. Okay, and here it is also like this, 2n minus 1. Now open it, it becomes 2m minus 2. Okay, minus 1 and minus 1, 2m minus 2d. Okay, and here also it becomes 2n minus 2. Okay, so up to here we get this. Now don't you think that we can take 2 common out of this complete, so that it becomes like this, isn't it? See, 2 is common from the numerator and denominator. So here we have taken 2 common from numerator and denominator, so that it gets cancelled out. Okay, so here 2 is cancelled and we get the desired term. Okay, a plus m minus 1d, a plus n minus 1d is equal to 2m minus 1 upon 2n minus 1, which is your mth term of AP, and this is your nth term of AP, and this was my desired condition. So dear students, please see it carefully that in ratio questions, how do we establish a connection between what we are having and what we need to prove. Okay. Question number 13. If the sum of n terms of an AP is 3n square plus 5n and its mth term is 164, find the value of m. Okay, so Sn here is 3n square plus 5n. We have previously done this question, such kind of question in your exercise 9.2, question number 1 to 9. Okay, where one question was having AK given and this question is where Sn is given. Okay, and you are familiar with what we do. We put n as 1 and 2. So by putting your n as 1, we will get S1. S1 is turning out to be 3 into 1 plus 5 into 1, that is 8. Okay, and this is your first term itself. First sum is your first term itself. Okay, and S2 we will get by putting n as 2, and it will come as 3 into 4 plus 5 into 2, that is 22. This is your S2. Okay, now S2 is your sum of first 2 terms, and out of this first 2 terms sum, if you will take out the first term or the sum of first term, you will get the second term. Okay, so see, sum of first 2 terms is first term plus second term. So S2 is your A1 plus A2. So S2 minus A1 is equal to A2. So I just need to find second term, and by putting A1 as 8, S2 as 22, we get A2 as 14. Okay, so A1 is 8 and A2 is 14. And now I can also calculate D. So D here is your A2 minus A1, that is 6. Okay, A is 8, D is 6. Now using the formula An is equal to A plus n minus 1D, I'll put this condition that mth term is 164. That is, Am is your A plus m minus 1D, which is replaced, Am is replaced by 164, and the values of A and D as A8 and D6. Okay, by solving it, we will get your this 156 by 6 equal to m minus 1. That is, m is going to be 27. Hence, the value of m is 27. Question number 14 says, insert 5 numbers between 8 and 26 such that the resulting sequence is an AP. Okay, it's a very good question. Now we know to insert n numbers between A and B, the common difference is B minus A upon n plus 1. Okay, okay, the m numbers is inserted. So this is also a trick in which you can calculate your common difference as B minus A upon n plus 1. Okay, so how to insert 5 numbers between 8 and 26 is the number of terms to be inserted is your 5. So D will be your 26 minus 8. Okay, this is B minus A divided by your n plus 1. Okay, so D is your 3. So this is also one way of solving this question where D is your 3. Okay, so A is 8, D is 3 and B is 26. So how can I calculate this all the terms? A plus D, second is your A plus 2D, third is your A plus 3D, fourth is your A plus 4D, and fifth is your A plus 5D. So first term we can calculate it as 11 by putting the value of A and D. Similarly, second is 14, third is 17, fourth is 20, and fifth one is 23. So we get 5 numbers as 8 and 26, between 8 and 26 as 11, 14, 17, 20, and 20. Other alternative way of doing this question is that you can take your 5 numbers between 8 and 26. Okay, so you will take, say, let A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 are 5 numbers between 8 and 26. Okay, then definitely 8, this A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 and 26, they will form an AP. Okay, between 8 and 26, 5 numbers are inserted. Okay, so here first term is 8, and if this is your first term, these are 5 terms. That means total 6 terms are there. So that means the 7th term is 26. Okay, there are total 7 term and the 7th term is 26. Okay, so definitely I will suppose it as, say, En, my nth term is your 26, but here I can easily calculate that this is 7th term, which is 26. So what is the formula for E7? That is E7 is equal to A plus 60 or 7 minus 1D. So I will place the value of this A as 8 and A7 is 26. Okay, and N is 7 and I'll get value of D as 3. Okay, now it is the first term, that is A itself. Second one will be, this A1 will be A plus D. This is A plus 2D, A plus 3D, A plus 4D, A plus 5D, and this is A plus 6D that we calculated from here. So by putting the values of A and D, we can get A1 as A plus D, that is 11, A2 as A plus 2D 14, A3 as A plus 3D 17, A4 as A plus 4D 20, A5 as your A plus 5D, that is 23. So the required 5 numbers can also be calculated in this way. Now this is a very important question, question number 15, and it says that if A raised to power n plus B raised to power n divided by A raised to power n minus 1 plus B raised to power n minus 1 is the arithmetic mean between the numbers A and B. Okay, this is the arithmetic mean between these two numbers. And you also know what is the arithmetic mean between two numbers A and B? It is their average, that is A plus B by 2. Then find the value of n. Okay, if it is the arithmetic mean between this. So from the question itself, it is clear that this is going to be equal to A plus B by 2. Okay, because that is also the arithmetic mean. And you have to find the value of n. So let us start with it. We know that arithmetic mean between A and B is your A plus B by 2. This is given as this also. Now let us equate both of them, as both are of same thing. They mean same thing. Okay. So now the value of n will come by solving this. Okay. The question up to here is now you will solve and apply the properties of exponents to get the desired value of n. So multiply, it becomes 2 times this an plus bn and a plus b times this complete. Okay. So it is 2a raised to power n, 2b raised to power n. This is a into this complete plus b into this complete. Okay. So 2an plus 2bn is equal to, now open it, a into an minus 1 plus a into bn minus 1 plus b into an minus 1 plus b into b n minus 1. So it is 2an plus 2bn is equal to, this is your n minus, basis same, powers are added, n minus 1 into 1 is your, okay, this is splitted here, a raised to power 1 into an minus 1. Okay, which we can, bases are same, powers will be added. So I'll get it as n minus 1 plus 1, and that is a raised to power n itself. Okay, and similarly this is your abn minus 1, similarly this is bn minus 1, and this will again be b raised to power 1 into b raised to power n minus 1, and here it is b raised to power 1 plus n minus 1, and that will give you your, look here, they will give you, this condition will give you an plus abn minus 1 plus bn minus 1, and this is bn. Okay, now bring all of them to one side so that we can reduce it. So it is 2an and minus an. Okay, it can give you an. 2bn minus bn is your b raised to power n. Again, and minus ab raised to power n minus 1 minus an minus 1, okay, into b equal to 0. We are here with all these terms. Okay, now what will I do now is I will just try to reduce this equation so that I'm just left with the condition or some ratio where I can get the value of n. Okay, so let us see. So I will see from where I can get your a raised to power n, this term and this term. Okay, as it is having a raised to power n, this is not having a raised to power n, it is having b raised to power n. So this and this will be combined together, and this will be we will associate them together. So an into this together plus bn into this together equal to 0. Now split it again. This is your a raised to power n, okay, a raised to power n, okay, into a raised to power n minus 1. Okay, can I write this a raised to power n as you have started in previously also? This a raised to power n was written as a raised to power 1 plus n minus 1, and here it was here it was e raised to power 1 into e raised to power n minus 1. So same thing we have done here. This can be written as a into e raised to power n minus 1. See from here. Okay, and this is minus, this is same. Similarly for b raised to power n, it can be written as b into b raised to power n minus 1. Okay, now from these two terms, actually we did it all to take something common. So a raised to power n minus 1 is common, and inside we get a minus b. From these two we get b raised to power n minus 1 common into a minus b, okay, equal to 0. So this becomes a raised to power n minus 1 minus b raised to power n minus 1 into a minus b equal to 0. This becomes in factor form. Okay, neither this is 0 or this is 0. If this is 0, a is equal to b, which is not possible as it is given. They are not, because some numbers are between them and it is in arithmetic mean, and definitely they are not going to be equal. So we get this as 0. Now that means a raised to power n minus 1 equal to b raised to power n minus 1. Okay, now what will I do? I will just make towards one side as 1. That means I will divide both sides by b raised to power n minus 1. So here I will take it to this to denominator, or we can say that we will divide both sides by b raised to power n minus 1. Okay, so this becomes ab whole raised to power n minus 1. This is 1. Okay, and 1 means anything raised to power 0. So I just need the fractional cases. So I can also write this 1 as ab by b raised to power 0 as it is 1. So okay, 1 can be expressed like this. Now equating these powers, n minus 1 is 0. That means n is equal to, we get the answer n as 1. Question number 16. It's a very important question. Between 1 and 31, m numbers have been inserted in such a way that the resulting sequence is an AP. Okay, there are two numbers as in the previous one. We have to insert 5 numbers. Here between 1 and 31, you have to insert m numbers. Okay, this m you have to find that how many numbers should be inserted so that resulting sequence is in your AP. Okay, so see, such that ratio of 7th and m minus 1 term number is 5 by 9. Okay, you have to find the value of it. Ratio of 7th and m minus 1th number, the number, not the term. Between 1 and 31, how many numbers you are going to insert? M. And out of these m numbers, the 7th and m minus 1th numbers, they are in ratio 5 by 9. So we will work out and then we will find the value of m. Okay, now see, we have done it that to insert n numbers between a and b, common difference d is your b minus a divided by n plus 1. This is also a short formula, short trick to go for this question. Okay, so that we can get n directly. Otherwise you have to work out a larger process also. That will I will also give you that type of solution also will be provided to you. Okay, so whatever you find okay, it will be good for you. Okay, so common difference d is b minus a upon n plus 1. B minus a, b this number, a is this, and n plus 1. N means how many terms are there. Okay, so as we have to insert m numbers, so b is 31, a is 1, and n is equal to m numbers. Okay, so d will become 31 minus 1 divided by m plus 1, and that is 30 upon m plus 1. Okay, 30 upon m plus 1. Now your first term is your 1, d is your this, and b is 31. Now we need to find the 7th and m minus 1 number. Now remember students, it's not the 7th term and m minus 1 term. It is the 7th number. Okay, term is this, first term is 8, last term is your 31. Okay, so in between the numbers, the 7th number. So the 7th number means actually the 8th term. Okay, see from here. If after this one there are 7 numbers, you have to search the 7 number, it will be the 8th term. Okay, so from here see, the first number is your a plus t, that is 1 plus t, a is 1 here. Okay, d I'll not put because that will make a mess here, so d I will put later on. Second is your a plus 2d. So 7th will be your a plus 7d, that is 1 plus 7d. And m minus 1 will be your a plus m minus 1d. Okay, Now 7th number to m minus 1th number. The ratio is 5 by 9. So it is 1 plus 7d upon 1 plus m minus 1d is 5 by 9. So now cross multiplying, we will get the value as 9 plus 63d is equal to 5 plus 5d m minus 1. Okay, 9 plus 63d is equal to 5 plus 5d m minus 5d. Bring everything together so that we get the condition as, okay, constants towards one side. We get 68d plus 5dm and this is plus 4. So by putting, now put afterwards, after so much, when you have reduced this term, now it's the time to put the value of d. Okay, as it is a fraction, so it's better not to put it here because that will complicate the calculations. Okay, so 4 plus 68 into this plus is equal to 5 times this d into m. Now cross it. It's very simple, not that difficult. Take proper LCM. This becomes 4 times m plus 1. Okay, here also this m plus 1 gets cancelled with this, and then by opening and reducing it, you will get the value of m coming here as 14. Okay, the value of m will be your 14. Okay, so 14 numbers. Now since the numbers inserted, see, there were m numbers inserted, a was taken as 1. Okay, so that means the first number is your second term, which is taken as in the table. Please see the table carefully. It is taken as a plus d. Okay, second number is taken as a plus 2d, the number. So seventh number is taken as your a plus 7d. Okay, it is not taken as 1 less. And similarly, m minus 1th number is taken as a plus m minus 1d. Okay, okay, please remember this. So this is also a very good question. Question number 17. It's a simple question. A man starts repaying a loan as first installment of rupees 100. If he increases the installment by rupees 5 every month, what amount he will pay in 30th installment? Okay, so in banking purposes also, or such kind of question also, AP is a very fruitful and a very shortcut way of calculating your interest or the installments or whatever is required. So first installment is 100, that makes the first term of the AP, that is your 100, and thus as the installment is increasing by 5 every month, that means that is, it is the common difference t, so it is 5. So what is the second installment? It is 105. Next is 110, so we get the AP as this 100, 105, 110, where a is your 100, t is your 5. So 30th installment means the 30th term. Okay, 30th term. So 30th term is your a plus n minus 1d. By using this formula, you can calculate 100 plus your 29d. So 100 plus 29, the value of d is your, okay, and it becomes 100 plus 145, that is 245. So 30th installment is 245. So AP makes it quite simple. And last question number 18 is the difference between any two consecutive interior angles of a polygon is 5 degrees. So difference, again, it will frame the common difference. Okay, if the smallest angle is 120, smallest means it will make your first term. Okay, either smallest or the biggest, but here smallest is given, so I'll take it as a. Find the number of sides of polygon. Okay, that means you need to calculate your n. So let us start with it. Difference between angles is 5, smallest is 120, second will be 125, third will be 130. You will get the AP as this 120, 125, 130, as so on. So A is 120, D is your 5. Okay, now as we are talking about your number of sides of the polygon. Okay, so we will use the formula for sum here, sum of all interior angles, okay, of a polygon having n sides, that concept. So Sn is your n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. Okay, let us apply, put the values of a as 120 and d as your 5. Okay, now we also know there's one formula also. First is we got this by putting the value of a and d, and also the sum of all interior angles of a polygon with n sides is given by 180 times n minus 2, 180 into n minus 2. Okay, so both of them are equal. Let us equate them to get a equation. So it becomes n by 2, this 2 into this complete thing is equal to 180 n minus 2. So take this 2 to other side, we need to simplify it to get the value of n. So n into 240 plus n minus 1 into 5 equal to 180 into 2 times n minus 2. Okay, so n times this complete is equal to 360 into n minus 2. So this becomes an equation, 240n plus 5n square minus 5n equal to 360n minus 720. 5n square minus 125n plus 720 equal to 0. 5 into this complete equation 5 can be taken common out of here equal to 0. Okay, so we can take it to other side also, or 5 is not equal to 0, so the second factor is only 0. And let us now change to factor form. So I'll make the factor here as 16 into 9 is 144, and also both added with negative sign will give you minus 25. So let's make the factor 16 and 9. So it becomes n into n minus 16 from this common, and from here 9 will take in common, so n minus 16 equal to 0. So we get it as n minus 9 into n minus 16 equal to 0, and two values of n are 9 or 16. Okay. Now I need to check whether both of them are okay or any one of them is okay. Now just remember, is it easier to frame a polygon which is having 16 sides? Okay, is it easy to draw? No, because n is equal to 16 is not possible, and we can contradict this also on the basis of, okay, this condition that as a16 will be your a plus 15d, and that angle will be your 195 degree, which is your greater than 180. Okay, and interior angle of a polygon cannot be more than 180 degree. Okay, so therefore number of sides of this polygon is 9. So the smaller one you have to take, and you can verify it by calculating your a9 also, that it will satisfy the required condition. Okay, so this is also a very good question. Let us recall some formulae and properties studied here in this complete exercise 9.2 regarding arithmetic progression. A sequence a1, a2, a3, so on, so up to an, and so on, so if it is infinite, and it will finish up to here if it is finite, is called arithmetic sequence or progression if your an plus 1 means every next term is obtained by adding d, common difference, to the previous term. Now you know an is, if an is your term, then the next will be an plus 1. That means an plus 1 will be obtained by adding d to an, where n is a natural number, and a1 is called the first term, and constant term is your d, that is called as common difference of the EP. Okay, also we studied if it is having a first term as a, common difference as d, then the general AP is of the form a plus d, a plus 2d, so on, so. Okay, and a term of AP is given by an is equal to a plus n minus 1 d. Okay, now also we can verify some properties, and these properties are, if a constant is added to each term of AP, the resulting sequence is also an AP. Okay, you can add to each term a constant, and that will not affect its not having or its condition for becoming an AP. That condition, after that also it will be an AP. And if similarly, if constant is subtracted from each term of AP, then the resulting sequence is also AP. Okay, same thing, if each term of AP is multiplied by a constant, then the resulting sequence is also AP. And also if each term of AP is divided by a non-zero, remember division non-zero constant only is advised, then the resulting sequence is also an AP. Okay, A means first term, L is last term, D is common difference, N is number of terms, and Sn is your sum to n terms of AP. Okay, so these are the conditions, and we studied also that this your L, this An can also be called as L, a plus n minus 1d. The formula of Sn is your n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1d, which can also be written as, if by breaking it, if it is An, then it can be written as n by 2 a plus an, or your a plus n. Okay, so I hope that you understood whatever is your taught about your arithmetic progression, and you will do your exercise 9.2 and are able to solve all the problems. Okay, I hope you got the concept. Thank you.